How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we do this 5 days out of the week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions while you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. What did the DNA say to the other DNA? Do these genes make me look fat, right? Genes, DNA. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN, which ended up having another pullback inside of the market. I got a little bit of feedback from you guys from yesterday saying, Dre, how are you going to say that OCGN will pull back to the $7 range or even the $6 range? And I told you guys, when I put this channel together, I want to make sure I'm being transparent. I'm not trying to pump up any stocks whatsoever, but we have to pay attention to what's going on with the technicals and as well as for the overall market sentiment. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance, know those key levels so we know what it looks like in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why the short interest is important, it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as for the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $7.65, being down 5.90%. On the low, it tested $7.65, and then on the high, testing $8.15. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 12.843 million shares, and for the average volume over 10 trading days, being at 32.108 million shares. So one thing we noticed right away, we did have below average volume on the day. We also dealt with some choppy markets, so that ended up putting some pressure on OCGN stock. But at the time of this recording, it is telling us right now at 4:44 p.m. in the after hours, it is at $7.78. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 42.75. So it has been on quite the downtrend there. And then when we take a look at the moving averages here on our chart, you can see that we are below the 21-day EMA as well as the 50-day, the 200-day, and the 100-day. So when we fall through all of these major moving averages, we have a bearish trend that is going on here. And one of the areas of support you want to look out for, just in case $7.65 breaks, would be right around $7.48. That would be our next area of support. As far as for the bullish case scenario, we ended up seeing a high of $8.15. So you'd want to see a move getting past $8.15 and reaching the 200-day around $8.33, and then wanting to look to see if you could hold support here and make that next move up to where it would start getting to the 50-day around $8.60. But from the way that it's looking, this downtrend looks like it will continue. So keep an eye on that 748 level, and if it decides to break down even further, then the next level will be right here around 714. So this is why I say you want to be patient when it comes to this play. You don't need to rush into it whatsoever. So let's see where this price actually finds itself going into Thursday and as well as going into Friday. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for OCGN. So green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So what we could see here for the most recent date of November the 17th, we have a closed position from Tudor Investment Corp. And then as far as for November the 16th, you could see here we have a new position opened up. But again, this is just a filing from Korean Retirement Capital Partners LLC that purchased just over 12,000 shares. And also you can see for the Retirement Group LLC and Dark Forest Capital Management LP close out their positions as well. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 48.35%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 3.6 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 2.7 million, updated 7 minutes ago, and then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 1.97%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 15th, it was at 52.38, and then for the close of the 16th, which was yesterday, being at 48.35. So it has gone down a little bit, but one thing that is still clear, OCGN does have short squeeze potential. So if you have a lot of buying pressure coming into the stock, then we could look forward to seeing some strong moves to the upside. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 15.44, and then on the outflow, it was 25.48. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, due to the fact it was an outflow day, we had 1.56 on the large. On the medium, it was 8.23, and on the small it was 5.65. And keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 1.31, and then on the medium it was 16.26, and then on the small it was 7.91. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, November the 17th, we ended up having an inflow of 251.13. It's taking the difference. When we take a look at the breakdown even further, you can see for the small scale orders, which tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. When we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying as well. And then when we take a look at what happened on the large, we could see potentially institutions were loading up on more shares than we had in regards to selling. Now, as we take a look at the turnover ratio, you can see that it was around 6.55%. So what this tells us, yes, there are many who are still holding on to their shares, but one thing to be aware of, there's a lot of traders in this play and also a lot of selling out of positions, and we saw that from the order flow alone. So this is why you want to continue to do your homework, do your due diligence, pay attention to what's happening in regards to the price action, and this is why this play comes with a lot of volatility and why you need to make sure that you have the right risk tolerance for it if you are considering to take a position. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, we did have a choppy day inside of the market, and of course it was impacted by this. I was also saying in my previous videos, don't be surprised if you see the stock pull back into the $6 range and as well as the $7 range, and I'm actually going to stick by my point. I want to make sure that I'm being completely honest with you guys, and this is why I always emphasize when it had these run-ups, when it was seeing a lot of momentum, to protect your profits. If you want to go ahead and ride the elevator up and down, you have to be able to live with that decision. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, one thing that is clear, OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is part of the reasons why, and I've said this in many other videos, if you have a catalyst that comes through the stock, we can look forward to seeing some moves to the upside. Since we haven't been getting any news as of late, then as far as for the stock price is concerned, you know there's going to be a lot of volatility. You know there's going to be a lot of pulling back. There are a lot of people who bought in who are very impatient. They don't want to ride the elevator, and this is why we have the selling pressure. And this is beneficial for all of the short sellers who are inside of this play. So this is why I want to make sure you're not being naive. You're doing your homework, you're seeing what's in front of you, and if you are considering to take a position, then you want to make sure that you are being patient. Wait for the price to actually find itself. Don't go out there and blindly follow people that are telling you, well, you know what, you need to buy it now. You just never know when the news is going to drop. That's what I call FOMO, and if you have that kind of behavior when you are approaching the stock market, you are easily going to lose money. There's always another play, and I want to make sure I remind you guys of that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.